Good evening all and welcome to another video. This particular video is not a beer review as such. This is more a holiday report really, and just a little bit of an opportunity to tell you about some of the beers and experiences I had in Spain. It was a family holiday down to Salou. It was glorious weather, and I'd taken a few books to enjoy from the Horus Heresy series, and the intention was to spend the first week chilling out, relaxing, enjoying the pool, going down the beach, all the usual holiday stuff, grab a few beers, go have some nice meals. And then in the second week, we would do Port Aventura, Ferrari Land, and a few other adventures like going up to Barcelona, Montserrat, things like that. But yeah, so we'll start with the beers. So we landed, as you do, and got to the hotel, dropped all the bags off, had a good time there. Well, I say a good time. We checked in, did all the usual jazz. Sort of checked in the leaflet supplies, checked what sort of times the restaurant open, all that jazz. And we then decided that until we could check in properly, that we would go into town and see what's going on. We wanted to grab some supplies, some water, something to nibble. So the first place we went to in town was a little Italian restaurant. Absolutely fantastic it was. And, the whole of Salou seems to have a massive Italian influence all over it. Loads of Italian restaurants. A supermarket's called Michelangelo. There's lots of Italian influence I noticed. Anyway, so we had lovely pizza. The beers on offer there were unsurprisingly Italian. It was Peroni. I didn't imbibe. I just had some water because it was far too hot. Anyway, we wandered out of there after having a lovely meal and took a little walk around Salou Old Town. And I spotted a shop, which was amusing to me. I put a photo up there. Let's see if you can get the reference. From having £5 worth. Anyway, that was entertaining. We wandered around and we thought time was getting on. We're going to head back towards the hotel, but in the meantime, we're going to stop in the supermarket and grab some stuff. And I'd heard good things about the alcohol-free beer supply in Spain, and that it's quite a common thing to have in good quantities in the supermarkets. So we picked up some water, had a browse of the snacks, and we spotted a few alcohol-free beers. Quite a few, in fact. So I thought, well, I'll get one that I'm familiar with, and that was a San Miguel alcohol-free. Picked up an 8-pack of that. It wasn't expensive. It was like €60 a can. So really not expensive at all. And had a browse of everything that was there. So they had a few Radlers in the completely alcohol-free selection, as well as the what we call table beer strength of 2.8%, give or take. I did pick up a couple of individual cans throughout the first week as well. A couple of photos up there. And I thoroughly enjoyed those throughout the holiday. They were refreshing. The San Miguel, that is. Nice and cold. The wife enjoyed one or two as well. Very nice. And the Radlers, they were a little bit soft drinky for me. Now, it was like lemonade with a malty hit behind it. Nice enough, very refreshing, but not something I'd go back to in a large quantity. I can imagine, or I understand why people do enjoy them though. And I also spotted a couple of tostadas, again, both alcohol-free. One was from Freedom and one was from Ambar. And I tried them both. I preferred the Freedom one. It was a bit more well-rounded, a bit better flavour overall, more toasted. It had hints of coffee and caramel going on through it, whereas the Ambar one was just a little bit watery. Not one I would go back to, I'll be honest. And anyway, I'd also spotted a couple of craft beers in the supermarket. Flying Pigs, which I reviewed on Saturday just gone. The review will be up there as well, or up there, whichever side it is. Didn't get to drink that until I come back to the UK because I got a rather nasty head injury, which resulted in me having some staples in my head. Another photo, wherever it's going to be. Long story short, I copped a door to the head. I'd gone down to pick something up off the floor. As the door's almost closed, my son has then come barreling back through the door, and the catch has hit me square on, somewhere about there. And in my situation, given my blood thinners, it was an utter mess, as I'm sure you can imagine. Lots of blood, lots of pain, and my Japanese and French neighbours on the other side of the hotel learned a few English swear words that day. And massive, massive thanks to Sergio in the hotel for sorting me out some ice and getting me a one-way ticket to the hospital. Really, really sound guy, very helpful. And he remembered me throughout the holiday and was always checking in when he spotted me in reception. So props to Sergio. So yeah, I went to the medical centres, had my head looked at. The Spanish guy reminded me a little bit of the hotel manager in Pretty Woman. That's what he looked like. But he's like, he looks at my head and goes, "Oh," he says, "Yeah, that's supposed to be sore." I said, "Yeah, definitely was." Anyway, stapled my head closed, and I went on my merry way. I should have had a head scan, it turns out, in Spain, but no, they didn't do that. I had to have that when I was all back in the UK. All is fine. They found a brain. That's all good. Just major concussion, bleeding, and a nice dent in my head that you can't see through my hair, but it's there, trust me. It was very sore. So that put paid to my beer drinking abilities and my ability to go in the swimming pool because of the risk of infection, and going on things like the go-karting that we were going to do and Port Aventura Ferrari Land. All that jazz had to be kind of kiboshed for now, but that gives us a reason to go back to Salou another day. So we spent the rest of the holiday chilling by the pool and thoroughly enjoying it. So as for the beers I did get to try, on site at the hotel, they had a pub, and it's called the Kingdom of the Pint. And with a name like that, you expect it to be regal. It was a fake Irish bar, and the beers they had on offer were not very good, let's be honest. You had Amstel on tap, very Dutch. You had Guinness in a bottle. You had Magners in a bottle. You had San Miguel in a bottle, and you had a selection of spirits. And Heineken Zero as well. Not what I was looking for anyway. So I this was pre-head injury. I had a Magners because I thought, it's nice and refreshing and chilled, and it would go lovely over ice. Sat in it. I suppose I enjoyed that. Anyway, fast forward a few days, head injury, blah blah blah. Couldn't have any beer, but I thought to myself, well, the doctor had said no alcohol, obviously risk of bleeding more with my tablets, so just take it easy. He said if it wasn't bleeding sort of later on, you can start washing your hair, etc., etc., maybe have a drink. So I waited a bit, and we went out for a meal to a lovely restaurant in Salou called Roadhouse. It's an American-style burgers, wings, steak house type thing. And I was hoping they'd have a good beer or two. And they did. They had their own Roadhouse Brewski Session IPA. And when I say Session IPA, it was 5.5%. Brewed by a microbrewery somewhere in Barcelona. I forget where. Anyway, it was beautiful. I had a pint of that. It was fruity. It was citrusy. It was creamy. It was lovely body. It was superb. It was the nectar of the gods. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I deserved it as well. So there's a photograph of me enjoying it up there. It was great. Anyway, so that was that. And then we decided, headaches were really not very good for drinking. So I chilled out and enjoyed some more time by the pool, read some more books. Horus Heresy, brilliant book series if you haven't read it. A bit Warhammer 40,000. Well, Warhammer 30k, I suppose it is, obviously, because it's Heresy. Great series of books. So I've read those by the pool, enjoyed lots of cappuccino and Spanish milk. Very creamy. Even their semi-skimmed is very, very creamy. Really nice. Anyway, loads of coffees. I had more of me alcohol-free stuff, a few sort of soft drinks by the pool. And then we went out for another meal. We went to a little restaurant called Albert's. Again, it was just near the House of Illusions in Salou. My wife wanted some seafood, and they had lobster on the menu, which is what she wanted. I sat down, I had a pepperoni pizza because I'm a fussy bugger with my food, and I had a look at the beer. They had a Dunkel. Of all things, I did not expect to find a Dunkel there, but I had it. It was a big brewery. Is it Mahu? 6.1% was really nice and toasty. Pictures up there. Superb flavours from a big brewery beer. I did not expect it to be as nice as it was, but it was superb. And and then I come back to the UK a few days later, had my staples out, had my head checked, found the brain, told me I was still concussed, which was quite interesting. But here we are, confusion reigned throughout the last, since it happened really, headaches, let's say disturbed vision, it was like it's like being half cut, so where you move your head to the side and it takes a second or two for your vision to catch up. That's what it's been like. But there we go. So then I had the Flying Pigs beer from Barcelona Beer Co, Brewing Co, whichever it is. Like I say, I already put the review up, but it's up there again. And I've got one more, the Amber IPA. Now I picked that one up that was also Michelangelo's. It was a 440ml can. It was about €1.79 a can, give or take a smidge. So I haven't had that yet. That's coming next Saturday, or a Saturday in the past, depending on when you watch this video. Hopefully it's very good. We shall find out. But based on the Tostada alcohol-free from Amber, I'm a little bit apprehensive, but we shall find out. So yeah. So the summing up of the beer that I saw in Spain was that most of it was Dutch. There's a huge amount of Heineken, loads of Amstel. I expected to find some Estrella and San Miguel. San Miguel was in bottles. Estrella, as you can see in the photo there, was available in the local, well, I suppose it's the supermarket cafe that seemed to be attached to every larger Michelangelo's, where you could go in and have a sandwich or a cake and a pint of Estrella. Saw lots of their vans going around, the little delivery vans. That was great. But, I didn't spot anything from Garage or anything like that. It's only up the road in Barcelona. Nothing. Apparently Rouse, which is where the airport is that we flew into, they have some craft breweries up there. So next time we go, I'm definitely going to stop in Rouse and see what's going on with their craft beer scene. But yeah, I saw a little bit of Madry on vehicles and signposts, but didn't see it anywhere. But there was lots of Scottish and Irish bars as well, obviously serving Guinness. I saw them serving Tennant's. They had McEwen's labels up on the thing. I didn't see if they had it, but lots of John Smiths and lots of Carling, lots of Strongbow, all on offer in supposedly British type bars, which was a bit of a shame, really. And I know it's a tourist trap in Salou, but Spain makes a lot of good beer, and it's a shame that it's not getting pushed. But that's just my observation. Maybe I need to go into older parts of Salou and stretch out into Cambrils and Tarragona and, like I say, Rouse and see what's going on there. But yeah, if you want a good family-friendly holiday, Salou is definitely a place to go. Beautiful beach, beautiful promenade. You've got lots of bars and restaurants up the new end. If you go towards the old end, that's where you've got House of Illusion and Albert's and some lovely old Spanish buildings. The new end is very much modern. Old end is beautiful. Very much recommend it. Like I say, friendly people that we saw as well. And yeah, definitely recommend it. So that was my little Spanish holiday. I enjoyed the siestas. I enjoyed the buffet breakfast and dinner very, very much. And like I say, the restaurants that we went to were superb. So yeah, I'll go back there and try some more beer another time. So, ladies and gents, thanks for listening to me waffle for the last 13 minutes or so. We'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again soon for another one. Bye for now.